fragile our monetary system is, and what it's about to be replaced with. If you don't care at all about becoming or staying wealthy, no, really, hit the skip button and carry on. Regional banks are falling like dominoes. And this is just the beginning. Money as we know it will never be the same again. In 5 years, you'll wish you had paid attention and taken advantage of this new interesting technology that's giving everyday Americans control of their money again. There's 2 ways to participate in the new fortunes being created in decentralized finance that is taking the financial world by storm. The first way is to be a sheep, thinking you can capture the highs and lows at exactly the right moment and outsmart the market. Here's the sad fact. 95% of traders of anything lose their shirts. The 5% of traders who win consistently take years to hone and perfect their craft so they can manage risk and protect themselves from the volatility and constant risk of loss. Don't do it. Here's the second way to get in on the burgeoning new electronic currency market. Be the house, be the bank or the house or whoever is sitting at that big table. Those guys always make money. If you want to learn these little-known strategies from the people who are the house, the billionaires who are multiplying their money using the most innovative technology in the decentralized economy as we speak, then click on the link on your screen to watch an absolutely free training video that will drop the curtain and show you exactly how this whole thing works.
All right, welcome in everyone. It is the Infinity Pi 2.0 launch. As always, I got my good brother here, Ricardo Hamilton, aka M.I.M.S. And man, what a powerful video, right? Be the bank for the first time in human history with decentralized finance. We are able to be the bank. M.I.M.S, make it make sense, brother.
Yeah, I mean, this is DeFi season, and I'm excited about 2.0 launch. That's why you guys see me here. This season that we're getting go into, a lot of people know we're going into a bull run. I'm telling you, we're going to see a lot of opportunities open up in this space, but some of the biggest opportunities that we have is in DeFi. I'm just telling you right now, because of the nature of DeFi, smart contracts, eliminating third-party counter risk. So I'm telling you, we got a phenomenal opportunity for you to be a part of. Just getting started, launching 2.0 officially right now with this live stream. So this is something that you're definitely going to want to like and share out and let people know, because just like when we started that video, I talked about regional banks collapsing. We're going to see more banks collapsing. There are things in the future, very near future, that are getting ready to come to hit this economy. And you want to make sure that you have all the options and resources and platforms available for you to be able to capitalize on this wealth transfer. Because make no mistake, this is a wealth transfer. So I'm excited about DeFi. I'm excited about blockchain and everything else that's coming in this space. So we're going to find the real opportunities out there for you and bring it to you. And in fact, Infinity Pi now launching 2.0 is definitely one of them. And I'm excited for what we got to share for them, Mike.
Let's get it, baby. And I got to give thanks to the amazing legend, Sean Malta, for bringing this opportunity to me. Him and I flew out to Dubai to meet with the creator and architect of this ecosystem, this smart contract. If you guys don't know, he's a legend in the network marketing industry, hailing from down under in Australia. Sean Malta, man, thank you so much for changing my life and taking me to Dubai. We had a blast, and I'm excited to share this with people tonight, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, Mike, and nice to meet you too, Ricardo. Absolutely good to be in such great company with such educated people who teach this to so many. And as you say, people are going to miss the train on this. Many people will miss the train. We need to be ready. There are trains at the station, and these trains are loaded up, and they're going to leave. They're going to leave, and people are going to look back and say, wow, there are no more train stations. There are no more trains. When this DeFi train is gone, it's going to be not too late to get on, but the upside's not going to be as big. So I'm super excited.
All right. So, guys, this is really, the launch of 2.0. So we want to get straight to the point and give you guys a great presentation so that you fully understand the opportunity that you have before you. This is Infinity Pi, and tonight we're going to teach you the power of pi. And we're talking about math, the universe, everything that we see. So this is a decentralized DAO that stands for a decentralized autonomous organization for wealth and people who don't want to do anything. So we got you covered today, no matter who you are.
And just so you know, guys, we're not talking about some pie that you might think you're familiar with. This ain't that, and that ain't this.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
next level. So make sure that I don't want you to get confused and say, oh, I heard about this pie thing. No, you haven't. This is the new pie, okay? Not that old stuff that you might be familiar with. So definitely make sure you grasp the magnitude of what we're sharing with you tonight.
Yeah, good point, Ricardo. This isn't that pie you're supposedly mining on your phone and it's been doing nothing for the last 6 years. This is
Exactly.
brand new.
Yeah.
Literally, when I was in Dubai last week, nobody had pie. It had not even launched yet. So you are in the right place at the right time.
Huge.
Now, some of the problems we have in cryptocurrency, we have centralized platforms and regulations from the government. So think FTX, think SEC suing the XRP. We have rug pulls where, developers run off with all your money. We have pump and dumps. We have degens just jumping from project to project. Most prices are rigged and manipulated. And basically, we just have to wait for the Bitcoin halvening to, have that bull run market cycle. And then how do you get eyes on your project? Is it going to be sustainable and have longevity? And then a lot of it lacks real world revenue or liquidity. Now, what if there was an ecosystem or a smart contract where 100% of the liquidity was locked when you bought the token? You could make 360% back from your original purchase. It was verified on the blockchain, and the administrator or created keys have been burned or destroyed and validated and proven that happened, so there's no more rug pulls. Only 70 million tokens, and it's deflationary, meaning there's less of it over time. A fair launch with no pre-mined or developer tokens. So when Sean and I met with Jackson, the creator of the smart contract in Dubai, he had 0 tokens of Pi, and he created this ecosystem.
And just so you guys understand, when I look at it, when we look at projects, those are some of the critical things that we do on our checklist to verify if we're dealing with something that's solid. We try to minimize downside risk. And that's why we like DeFi. And when you see some of those traits there that are in this system, these are a lot of things that gets us excited.
So there's only 70 million Infinity Pi ever. It started at 0.001. 50 million have been sent to Pancake Swap for trading. 10 million was put in the DAO. So those of you that got in 1.0, that is what we have access to, is those 10 million tokens. And then 1 million was given to different parts of the program. And then 6 million for future NFT development. So they have thought about this in the future. They have an amazing headquarters in Malaysia. These guys are well funded. That's why they flew in 50 of the top network marketers to Dubai to check out this project, because they're thinking long term and they want this to go absolutely global. So essentially, again, when we're talking about Pi, it's a circle. Okay. So you're going to purchase a quantum miner. That quantum miner, 100% of your USDT is going into a liquidity pool and is locked. When you get that miner, it's going to release 0.7 to 1% to you daily, depending on which miner you get. And these obtained tokens can be sold on Pancake Swap. Now, once you have those tokens and you've made 3.6 times your money, you're going to want to buy another miner and repeat that circle, right? Creating a continuous and sustainable ecosystem. So I don't want to freak anyone out here, but I want to make sure you understand the math and intelligence behind this. Sean, maybe let's talk about this for a minute. When we were in Dubai, I was asking Jackson tough questions for the first day. We heard the presentation for about 5 hours, and I was not sold on it until I talked to him in the hotel lobby for about an hour, and we got into some really, really nerdy stuff. So maybe just give your perspective of that day when we were first introduced to this.
All right. So when I first invited you, Mike, it was like, okay, this is going to be tough to convince Mike. He's got high standards. He knows his stuff. This is not like I can't just blow some smoke and mirrors Mike's way, right? Not that I would do that. But the thing is that you know your stuff. So when we spoke, it took a little bit of convincing. It was 2 or 3 days before you decided you're going to come along. And I knew that there was no guarantee that you were going to be on board with this. I knew that you would need to tick all the boxes. And so we're sitting there in the room, we're sitting there with the founder, we're sitting there with the mastermind of the system. And man, you were throwing some hard questions at him. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, I did this. This is my fault. This is like, this guy is tearing down the mastermind of this system. But man, you asked some good questions. And I'm sitting there going, man, I'm learning from this. And it was good. It was challenging for me. It was challenging for Jackson. And I'm sure until you had it all added up in your mind, it would have been challenging for you too. But when I saw the light bulb go off in your mind,
Yeah.
it was literally, I was seeing this. When you got it, man, your whole demeanor, everything changed. When you got it, I knew, okay, this is it. We've got it. And some of the questions you asked, pretty much most of them, I learned from everything. Everything you put across, I'm like, wow, I'm growing here. That was gold for me.
And so I just tell you guys this, that it took me a whole day and an hour with the developer alone to grasp the intelligence of this. So this is just a quick 1-minute video. So again, I don't want to go back to your high school math classes and give you nightmares, but I want you to understand why it's called Infinity Pi and how we're going to continue this loop. I just want to make sure you can hear that,
No
guys,
sound,
right?
Mike.
No audio, Mike.
All right, 1 second. All right, how about now?
Found out that when we take the ratio of the circumference to the diameter, we always get the same answer. The answer is pi. P-I, pi. Pi is the ratio between the circumference of a circle to its diameter. And the best part of that is that it is true for all circles. I mean, all circles, irrespective of the size of the circle. The value is estimated to be about 3.1415926583589798. Let me represent it as a fraction. 22/7. So why is this ratio so important to us? And also, how did we discover pi? Simply because if you look around and observe, you'll notice a pattern. A pattern of how abundantly we are surrounded by curvatures, electrons, atoms, molecules, our pupils, clocks, bracelets, wheels, balls, the letter O, zero, planets, the sun, and the list goes on. They are everywhere.
So I hope that wasn't too much, guys, but you need to understand the power of pi and the size of the circle. No matter what, it always equals pi. Sean, let me pull up the presentation again, but is there anything you want to add just with your wisdom on the power of pi?
The only thing I can add here is that it's infinite, and that's what I like about it. When you travel around a circle, the journey is forever.
And so, we're always going to get that question, Sean, right? Like, but how is this sustainable, right? Because 1 + 1 = 2. So your thoughts
Gotcha.
on, can 1 + 1 = 3?
Yes, absolutely. So when it comes to going to school and math, we are conformed into a certain type of thinking. So that certain type of thinking is that math is logic. But the thing is that we have what we call a heart. That heart to me is like a brain center where we literally store memory. That's a matter of quantum physics. In nature, what we do naturally when we walk around and we see something, we have a first decision that comes from the heart. People say, listen to the heart. Your first decision comes from the heart. Then we analyze it with our head. In school, we're in our head, right? In school, we're told, don't dream. Do as I say, not as I do. All those things. In school, we go and we learn math. It's logic. And then we base our life around logic. We base our finances around logic. We do everything around math and logic. And it's great because we can make sense of it. We go 1 + 1 = 2. It's a zero-sum game. But unfortunately, we apply this to our financial lives. And when you apply a zero-sum game to your financial life, there is zero growth. So therefore, when you look at a system and that system says, hey, look, if you put in 1, you can get out 3.6, people go, but 1 + 1 = 2. That makes no sense. And people are just going to walk away from the opportunity, not realizing that we're not dealing with logic here. We're not dealing with a zero-sum game. We're dealing with nature. Nature, 1 + 1 = 3 in nature every time. As a matter of fact, nature does not limit itself to 1 + 1 = 3. A male bunny, a female bunny, lots of bunnies, an acorn, soil, oak tree, tens of thousands of acorns, tens of thousands of potential trees. Nature is abundant and it multiplies so fast. So when we take that mindset and we go into our life, we wonder why most people have got no money left at the end of the month, because everything is win, lose, zero sum. And that is why this system makes sense, but you need to look at it as a natural thing, not a logical thing. It's a natural thing. And when we show you how that works, it makes so much sense. And I can even make sense to you on this system using the math system we have been taught. So that's why 1 + 1 = 3, Mike.
I love it, man. Dropping some mad wisdom. So guys, we have vetted this, right? So you got to make sure that a smart contract has been audited and verified. So you can go to Aave.ai and they did all the analysis of this, right? Is this accurate data? Is it decentralized? And they came back with the best score you can get, which is 20%. And the main one you want to look at is number 9. Okay. Administrative privileges have been abandoned. That means this contract cannot be changed for 10 years. That's how they put it in the code. The contract cannot be changed for 10 years. It is what it is. We don't have to trust humans. We don't have to trust banks. We don't have to trust governments. We can just trust the code and math. And I'm going to call on M.I.M.S here to make it make sense about why decentralized finance is such a big deal.
Well, I mean, you said it when you talk about trust, man. I mean, the reason why people value blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, is because of trust that it provides in the system. This is why this is part of the wealth transfer. This is that revolutionary technology, the most redundant technology. And so on the blockchain, it has layers. And then now when you have smart contracts, that same value that the world is seeing in Bitcoin and other things in the crypto space, it really comes down to blockchain. And then when you have, the smart contract, and then you have, obviously an audited smart contract like this to make sure that, once again, we want to eliminate our risk if we can, or minimize it to the smallest amount of risk possible. And this is what smart contracts and DeFi do. And so when you find that, and and you have a ecosystem that kind of is representing pi, which means it's going to continue. It's going to be here. It's not going to be here today and gone tomorrow, because it's set up and designed in a way to create, like Sean said, a natural continuation of it. Right? It's that growth of the system will continue. So, when you look at DeFi and projects like this, you definitely want to make sure they're audited. And like Mike said, you definitely want to make sure that they can't change anything in the smart contract. And then once you realize the system that Infinity Pi has, you'll see why it's continuous and why you'll want to continue to participate, and see why others would as well want to continue. And then it'll make sense, and you'll see the power of Pi, Infinity Pi, in the system.
Absolutely, fireman. So this is the slide that basically explains what happens. Okay. You have the ability now to buy a quantum miner. There's 4 options: $500, $1,000, $2,000, or $5,000. Now, each of them are going to pay you a certain percentage a day, and it will pay that out to your own wallet. Okay. We're not talking about dashboard money. It's decentralized. You can take it whenever you want. It's going to do that 3.6 times. Now, there's going to be things that we're going to show you where there's fees coming back into the system, and that 3.6 actually comes down to pi 3.14, but that extra is feeding into the system. So there's static and dynamic rewards. So you will receive tokens pegged to a solid value that doesn't change. That's why they say the value of gold. So if a user gets a $5,000 quantum mining package, their daily static income will be worth $50 of tokens. So I'm going to explain that to you guys here in a minute, the static versus dynamic, because this is where the genius starts to come in. Now, a lot of people will always say, well, what's my ROI? When do I get my money back that I invested? The ROI is in 117.614 days when you factor in the royalty fees of withdrawing, which I realized this when I was on the phone with Sean, and I said, what a coincidence that it's a prime number that is your ROI. So just to make this very clear to you, you get a static daily percentage, but a dynamic number of pi are given. So as the price of pi goes up, which it has been, you will get less pi each day, but it's worth more. If the price of pi goes down, you will get more pi each day as it's worth less. So this makes it sustainable, as nobody can get more than 3.6 times of their investment, no matter when they invested or what the price was. This is the game theory that comes down to when you decide to sell or hodl or hold your pi. So again, I'm telling you guys and giving you all these examples because you need to make sure you understand the quantum miners to grasp this ecosystem. So here's some examples. You buy a $1,000 mining package. $1,000 goes directly into the liquidity pool of pi. If the price of pi is $1, you will get 8 pi a day to your own wallet, which equals $8 or 0.8% a day for 360 days. If the price of pi is $2, you will get paid 4 pi a day, which equals $8 or 0.8% for 360 days. You decide when to sell your pi into USDT or a stable coin or take profit. Some will hold, some will sell. That's up to you. Now, what I'm doing, okay, is I sell a third of it into USDT to take back my initial investment, and I leave 2/3 of it in pi. So as you guys can see, the launch, actually, hold on, let me share this here. The launch of Infinity Pi 2.0 has been successful, to say the least. Okay, you can go to dexscreener.com and see the chart. Okay, We launched on the 20th with 2.0. And the first day it was 111. Then it was 130 something. And now we're at 158. And you can see just as we were on the live, somebody bought a $500 package, somebody bought a $2,000, and somebody sold $7,000 worth of pie. And look, the price barely moved because there's so much liquidity in here. Guys, 3.9 million liquidity, a market cap of 100 million, and this just started a week ago. All right, now you get that 3.6. But like I said, some of that is going to come back into the ecosystem when you decide to sell, thus bringing it down to 3.14 that you're actually making. So when you withdraw your pie from your decentralized DAO, you're going to 2.5% is going to pay out the DAO owners, the people who got it in 1.0. 2.5 is going to the company for future operations to, get games, NFTs, other income sources that will feed the ecosystem. When you go to sell pie into USDT on PancakeSwap, 5% of it is going to be burned or destroyed, thus making it deflationary, which means every day there's less and less pie. So this person who sold 7,000, he sold almost 5,000 Infinity Pi. 5% of that was burned and destroyed forever, thus making Pi more valuable. And then another 5% is going to the community, the creators, to grow the ecosystem in the future. These guys have a long-term vision for what this DAO is going to do. So 5% of the tokens are burned. So when a player sells 1,000 tokens, 50 Pi are burned. If the daily trading volume reaches $1 million, that's 50,000 Pi tokens that are going to be burned. And remember, or actually, I haven't even told you guys this yet. You can't buy Pi. You cannot buy Pi. You cannot go to PancakeSwap and buy the token. And I'm going to explain to you why that is so genius. The only way to get Pi is to get a quantum miner. And guys, we talked about this before, right? It's a circle. It's everywhere in the world. It's zeros, it's planets, it's wheels. And we have this infinity loop. So you purchase a quantum miner, you become a treasure hunter in Infinity Pi. You're going to get 3.6x on your investment in Pi. Directly deposited, all USDT goes to the liquidity pool in PancakeSwap. You purchase Infinity tokens from the liquidity pool of the Infinity Pi token. The contract players are rewarded with an equivalent amount of Infinity Pi tokens based on the real-time price. That's that static and dynamic I was talking about. The quantum miner pays you 0.7 to 1% a day, and you can exchange those tokens whenever you want. Now, Sean, I'm sure we have some people out there thinking, yeah, but I just don't understand how this can last. Don't you always have to be bringing like tons of more people in or it's going to fall apart? So as only you can you maybe explain how one person buying a miner, one miner actually helps pay 100 people?
Absolutely. And this is where you have to take your school mindset of math and you need to go back to nature. That's it, right? Because what we have here is really simple. Can you give me a full screen, please, Mike?
I got you.
All right. So if you see here, when we started this, we started out, there's a group of partners involved here. Mike, myself, M.I.M.S, we're partners in this. It just means that we're part of the DAO. And for those who want to know what DAO means, that's something that Mike and M.I.M.S can explain another time if you don't already know it. But basically, we are founding members of this. We came in and we put money into it, and that was it. Now, we get the same deal as everyone else. We make our 1% in Pi every single day. Now, this is why I got 1.0 written here, because we're 1.0 members. We are now in 2.0. So if you imagine this circle like a clock or like a pie, if you like, a pie that you would eat. And the idea is that you want to increase your slice of the pie, right? So what you're doing is that, let's say you're putting $1,000 into the system. $1,000 goes into the system here. 1,000 USDT goes in. That USDT, one person comes in and they put $1,000 into the liquidity pool. 100% of that goes into the pool. It's not divided out to shareholders, nothing. It's just $1,000, 100% of that goes into the pool. Now, let's say that there were 100 people who were already in the system. Now, there's more than that, but let's say there was 100 people, and those 100 people all came in with $1,000. Those 100 people are expecting to get 1% per day paid out in Pi. Not in dollars, not in USDT, but in Pi. We're receiving Pi tokens from a wallet or a liquidity pool, if you like, from PancakeSwap or controlled via PancakeSwap. So these 100 people are getting 1% per day. Think nature now. 100 people are getting 1% per day paid out in Pi. Now let's make the assumption that we're all just crazy and we're just cashing in all of our Pi every day. So all 100 people just say, here's my Pi, let me cash it in. Now we know naturally that's not going to happen, but let's say it did. Worst case scenario, 100 people take all their money out every single day. That means that 1% is going to come out of 1,000 times 100. So the money that comes out per day is $1,000. It would take only one new person jumping into this or one new lot of $1,000 to equal the old-fashioned math of 1 + 1 = 2. So if we go back to school and we think logic, all we need is one person to come in per day in order to make up for the deficit of 1% per day for 100 people. This is logic, and I'm appealing back to your school logic now. But the reality is that in nature, 1 + 1 = 3 or many. So what's going to happen is that out of the existing 100 people and the new people coming in, we're going to say, wait, I'm making money here every day. After 360 days, I got 360% on my original 100%. So naturally, anyone who likes on making more money a little bit easier than normal is going to put some of those profits back in. So effectively now, just to finish this up, on this circle, what it would mean is that if only 100 people were part of this and the word never got out and we were playing secret squirrel and we were never sharing this with anyone and only 100 people came in, it would only take one out of those 100 people to reinvest per day in order for this to keep going. After 117 days, which is when you got your ROI, how many of these people are going to say, hey, I made my money back, I'm going to reinvest?
Yeah.
So we only need 3.6 people after a full cycle to maintain it per day. That's it. We're talking how many billions of people in the world who have got a day job, who want financial security and a bit of happiness in their life. They're not stressing about money. This system here is absolutely genius. And I'm just talking about the money side of things. We're not even talking about the business model that's coming in and the real life use for Pi down the track.
Right.
We're just talking about the Pi itself.
Yeah. And so that, guys, that's if everyone cashed out every day and we don't factor in tokenomics or the price of Pi going up, 1,000% already, and we don't count all the stuff that's coming in the future. This is just saying if everyone sells every single day, all it takes is one person out of 100 coming in to keep this continuous loop going.
And what comes across my mind is that you don't have to worry about a centralized institution locking you out of your wallet or stopping your payout. You see, this is the power of DeFi. You see, a lot of times when you see centralized platforms out there that sound similar maybe to what we're trying to explain to you in this DeFi space, you've eliminated a lot of those variables where you have an owner or the developers being able to change the contract, lock you out of your wallet, stop your payments or anything of that nature. When it's DeFi, it's set. The code is set. This is what it's set to do. Nobody can come in and change it. So that's going to happen on automatic. So that's one of the things that, we get excited about when we talk about DeFi and something that's put out there and it's done right and it can never be changed again.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's all about DeFi. That is the future. So again, this is just another slide saying there's going to be high demand. Once you get back your initial investment, why would you not do it again? Right? Once you're eliminated meaning like your 360 days are up and you made 3.14 times your money, of course you're going to want to do that again. And it doesn't matter what the price is, because of that static and dynamic, you're still going to want to buy another quantum miner.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that you mentioned earlier, Mike, when you talked about your third investment, when it comes down to your risk versus reward, the smart contract works. It's going to be successful. If you 3.6 on your return, if you obviously have some profit. So now you have the ability to go back in and you still have, people like you said, Mike, when do I get my money back? I've made my money back plus some. I probably could take a little bit of extra of what I've made and reinvest, because you talk about the psychology of people and you talk about a system that is producing the ability for them to continue to make money. That's where they come with that pie, right? It's genius. It makes sense. And
it's math, man. Like once that, like I grasped that, like that's when that light bulb went out, went off.
Yeah.
If
I make 3.6, sure, I could stop and be like, I got my 3.6. Or it's like, you know what? Maybe I should go back in, see if I can make a little more, but I've already made my money back plus some. I already doubled it. I could take the third that I made, a little extra, and put it back in the system. People do it all the time when they go to the casino, except they end up losing their shirt, But now you're talking about DeFi, where you can go ahead and put yourself back into the system, and it's going to continue to work and pay out because of the mechanics of it.
And this is again part of the genius of this, right? Whenever typically you have token speculation, people will go and buy a token when it's super low and then sell it when it's super high. So like Elon Musk selling Bitcoin and Dogecoin, it resulted in a significant downturn to their respective prices. Or any big whale, anyone with a bunch of money can buy a token when it's low, wait for it to go up, then they sell it, and then a bunch of people lose. Infinity Pi, you can't do that. Remember, guys, you cannot buy this token. You can't.
That's huge.
It's impossible. And I didn't grasp that like for so long until I was like, no, wait, Jackson. So you're telling me you changed the code in the liquidity pool on PancakeSwap to where people can't buy it? He's like, yes. And that's where I was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. So any major investor wanting to directly purchase Pi with $1 million can't do it. Sorry, Elon Musk. You can't come in and buy $1 million worth of Pi tokens. They can only buy $1 million worth of quantum mining. Well, what would happen if Elon Musk came in and bought $1 million? He bought a bunch of $5,000 quantum miners. You would see this liquidity pool, right? The price of Pi go boom to the moon. And who would be able to cash out? The people who had already bought the quantum miners. Because Elon Musk is only going to get that 1% a day. He's going to have to wait a long time to sell. So we would win, right? When whales would come into our ecosystem, we win. Especially if you're in the DAO.
And in case you guys didn't understand what Mike just said, he really just pretty much said that that's part of the secret sauce. People want to know, the secret sauce to some of it. It's already DeFi, so it's already got the main course. But if you want to know that secret sauce, that's part of the secret sauce right there. You cannot buy these tokens as you want. You can only acquire these tokens through getting the miners. That's definitely a very key component to the success of this project.
And Nicole, great question. So what happens to the pie we sell? That goes into the liquidity pool to only pay out the miners. Typically, it would go to, a place where people could buy it, but it's only going to pay out the miners, which again keeps that loop going. So even after all the tokens have been minted and created and put into the ecosystem, people are going to sell, and now those pie they sell are going to pay the miners.
Yeah,
It's so genius, guys. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, refuels. Yeah.
And there will always be enough pie to pay the miners, because the less pie there is, the more it's worth. Just like Bitcoin, right? It's just there will always be enough to pay the miners, regardless, even if we only had one pie left and we all only had to share in one pie.
Yep. Because it can go into infinity with decimals. And as Marshanda is pointing out, it is deflationary, which will cause the price to increase. So this is basically the last slide. It's genius, a perfect circle of math. You cannot buy pie. You can only mine it. 100% goes to liquidity pool. You get paid 0.7 to 1% a day in pie tokens. Cash out anytime. 15% of the cells go back into the ecosystem for longevity. The DAO partners are incentivized to promote this because of the locked tokens. Once they, create so much, those tokens are unlocked. Miners who make 3.6x are incentivized to buy another miner, thus that continuous loop. Those who believe in the DAO and vision will hold onto most of the pie. People buy a miner and it adds dollars to pie. People sell and it adds dollars to the ecosystem and burns tokens. Going in, going out, we win, and the ecosystem is strengthened.
Yeah, it's now, just fair. I like that.
Yes.
It's fair. It doesn't matter what you put in. Everybody's getting a 3.6, right?
Exactly.
That's fair. Doesn't matter if you buy the $5,000 mining pack or you buy the $500 mining pack. Everybody gets 3.6. And that's where the dynamic part comes in, because the price of the amount of pie tokens you will get adjusts based on the price of pie. It's genius.
It's absolute genius. Now, there is a referral program. We're not going to get into it too much. It's 10%. And all this is you get more mining power. So if you refer people to this and share your link, you get 10% of their direct referral, and then 4 and 2% to 5 levels. So it's increasing every day. I'm getting these transactions. Sean, go ahead.
Yeah, and important for everyone to realize that the referral commissions are only on the ROI, not on the money they put in, the cost.
Yes.
It's on the ROI only.
It's really just mining power, right? So if Ricardo signs up with me, he puts in $1,000, I don't get any of that $1,000. That $1,000 goes to the liquidity pool.
Yeah.
But I get 10% of Ricardo's 0.8, which I believe would be 0.08. So it's just a little bit, but it's an extra mining power you're getting paid to you daily. And again, as the pie of price goes up, you might be like, well, who cares? I get 0.08. Well, you see what the price is doing. We don't know what the price will be in the future, but it's good. There's also team rewards where you can rank up to different ranks up to V6. And then anyone in your team, you're getting 5 to 50%, which this is life-changing wealth, but we're not going to break it down right now. We'll do a whole video on this. We just really want you guys to see the vision. I'm just telling you guys, I'm glad I took massive action. Okay. I opened up 4 DAO positions. This is what each of them are producing. Obviously, some of this comes from sharing it, but when I can make $177 a day decentrally, passively, that's going to continue in that infinite loop, I get excited. So guys, that is it. Whenever or wherever you watch this video, because this will be one of the best presentations ever done on Infinity Pi, get back to the person who shared this with you. If somebody sent you this video, don't search us out on the internet and try to join with us. Okay. Get back to them. We want to see everybody win. You know, we have DAO positions. So whether you buy or sell, we're gonna win. M.I.M.S, your last thoughts tonight, and just, why people need to take action and get into this new decentralized finance.
Yeah, I mean, this is it, folks. This is the bull run in DeFi for me. Like, this is huge. You want to take advantage of this. You definitely want to like this out. Want to share it, let people know. It's smart. It just makes sense. If you didn't catch everything, don't be afraid to go ahead and watch this video over again. Okay, because it might have went past some people's. It might have went just like that, but you don't want to miss it, right? Because it's dealing with math. Not everybody's good with math, but understand something. They put something here together that is a system that works, that can't be messed with. Nobody can interrupt this process, right? And it's in a system that's dynamic and it works. It's based off math. People are going to be able to win and take advantage with this. That's what I see. I see the long-term stability of it. I see the security in it, being a DeFi and a smart contract. I see the math in it and how it makes sense. And I understand the human psychology and why people will continue to want to use this smart contract, this platform, Pi, to be able to get more rewards in Pi tokens and be able to sell them and do what they need to do.
Right. Well, Sean, man, I mean, what a life-changing, last 2 weeks, getting to go to Dubai, finding this out, seeing this just blow up and go viral. Your last thoughts of wisdom of what people should do and how they should be thinking right now when they see this opportunity.
Yeah, look, I always say to people that put opportunity money in only, so money that you've got available to this. Like anything, I say don't put in any more than you're prepared to lose. I say that with every opportunity. I even say that when people buy houses. But at the end of the day, you're dealing with something here that not only is the timing exactly right for this, we only have a matter of months before we're into 2024. I love your hat too, Ricardo, by the way. And
Oh yeah,
2024 is going to be the year that people look back on. And we are here in 2023 looking into the future of 2024 about to happen. And we literally feels like we've got a crystal ball here, an infinity crystal ball. And not only do we have a great opportunity here to be part of, but this opportunity is Musk proof. And I love that.
Yes. Musk proof is the key. All right, guys, we're going to try to keep this short. Get back to the person who invited this to you. If you don't know how to move in the DeFi space, we will have instructional videos on my YouTube channel and in the Runners app that you can download below. The biggest thing is to take action, get educated. This is the time. The greatest wealth transfer is happening right now. The next 6 months are so key for you to take action. Whatever you got to do, whatever it takes, get it done.
Yep. Get back to the person that shared this out with you, folks. And if it's us, links is in the bio or under the video. Let's go. Lace up. Let's get wealthy.
All right. Peace, guys.